138 openings of wisdom, reading, and meditation. This is opening 19. And this is quite a short opening. It's basically just only one paragraph, one or two paragraphs. And so usually, sometimes, I don't always, but start off with some Gematrias, because these 130 openings is a Kabbalistic work, and Gematria comes a lot into play with Kabbalah. And so my study in Gematria is separate from it, but I'm actually putting it together with this work. So it's a meditation, it's Gematriatic thoughts, and it's the reading and also other meditations as I'm reading, as it comes to me. So today, before I start this, I should say that in my studies of Gematria, I found that Gematria is really just a mathematical understanding of language, a numeric language, and it's not limited to Hebrew. Hebrew, you could say, should be placed an emphasis on the Hebrew. Maybe it should be the primary measuring line or focus, but it seems that not just Hebrew, but I would go so far as to say every language has Gematriatic codes in it, and I've seen, especially in English, because that's my main language, and besides for Hebrew, but I speak it better than Hebrew, although I would like to speak them the same level, but really I'm finding that English Gematria is full of secrets and codes. So today's Gematria is, in English Gematria, the word Gematria has a numerical value of 74. And the word is, and just to let you know, the cipher for the English Gematria, this is standard English, because there are many English types of ciphers. But the most common, the most reliable, and the most universal is, I think, the most intuitive, which is just A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, D equals 4, ordinally, without skipping any numbers. Like in Hebrew, the general Hebrew cipher is Aleph through Yud is 1 through 10, and once you get to Kaf and then Lamed, it goes by tens, and then once it gets to 100, then it goes by hundreds. There must be some reason for that, and that's the most common Hebrew Gematria, although there is a Gematria in Hebrew called Mispar Seder or Mispar Siduri, which goes ordinally, where Aleph goes through Taf 1 through 22. And that's also a very important cipher, which not a lot of people use or are aware of, but some incredible findings in that cipher as well. But the ordinal Gematria cipher of English is provable based on the Hebrew cipher, because, and a very simple Gematria that everybody knows, I think not everybody, shouldn't be so presumptuous to say, but most people know that the name of God that's described in the Torah as Yud, He, Vav, He, has a numerical value of 26. And that's the same whether it's an ordinal or regular Hebrew Gematria, because all of those letters are under 10. Yud is 10, so 26. But if you take the English letters G-O-D and you apply the ordinal English Gematria cipher, it's the exact same number. And that's really a good indicator. There's many more examples, but for time, I'll just keep it to that one, because that's, I would say, the grand slam. It's like the most obvious that, especially that English Gematria is valid, especially that English alphabet has 26 letters, which equals Yud, He, Vav, He, and it equals God. And they equal all the same, 26. And they're all in the same cipher, which means if it went past 10, you could say that the regular Hebrew cipher goes by ones and tens and hundreds. but it doesn't. It's just 1 through 10, so it's the same cipher literally as in English, and it's both 26. So I think that's the biggest grand slam proof of the validity of English Gematria, and I have many more examples of that. Things like this that correlate from Hebrew to English, and they're the exact same word and meaning and the same number as well. So, and it's interesting that this is coming in opening 19, because I just learned something about the number 19, and I usually do these openings every day for the past 19 days, and it happened during the week, a few days after Tisha B'Av. Like Tisha B'Av was a Sunday, August 3rd, and then Monday was August 4th, and it was Yud B'Av, and then the opening started on that Wednesday. So it has to do, there's a lot of connections to Mashiach, Mashiach's arrival, Mashiach's coming, and Gematria is a big part of it. It came to my mind that Gematria is the language of Geula. And this can be described by one more Gematria, which I'll convey. Gematria, the word misparim in Hebrew, has a numerical value of 430. And the word Geula Shlema is equal to 430. So we see there's a connection to 430 with numbers, meaning Gematria, and Geula Shlema, and the complete redemption. And the number 430 also comes into play with the original redemption from Egypt. It's talked about in Exodus chapter 12, after 430 years. And 430 is actually 86 times 5. But in English Gematria, if you spell out the word 19, N-I-N-E-T-E-E-N, it equals 86. So 19 equals 86, and 86 times 5 equals 430. And I think we'll leave it here for now with that. And opening 19 is the 22 letters. In total, the letters consist of 22 different kinds of orders or arrangements, Sedarim, no less and no more, in order to give the lights the power to act. Let's read that again, just let that sink in. In total, the letters consist of 22 different kinds of orders of arrangements, called Sedarim, no less and no more, in order to give the lights the power to act. Just came to mind something we say on Shabbat in the prayer of El Adon. This is regarding the constellations. It says, Koach ugvura natan bahem lihiyot moshlim bekerev tevel. He gave them power. Koach ugvura. Koach means strength or power. Ugvura, strength. Natan bahem, he gave to them. Lihiyot moshlim bekerev tevel, to be rulers within the world. So, what the Ramchal here is saying is that these letters have powers, they give the lights power. So it comes to mind that it's something well understood within the liturgy of the davening, the tefillah. Having introduced the subject of the letters, we will now discuss their number. In total, the letters consist of 22 different kinds of orders or arrangements. As you have already heard, each different function has its own particular root. And this root is organized into orders or arrangements that are fitted to the root in question and its intended function. The quality and number of levels in each of these various orders or arrangements is an individual matter depending upon the intended function of any given order. In the case of the letters, each individual letter is one of the various different orders or interconnected clusters of lights necessary to bring about action. Each letter is a unique root suited to the execution of the action that has to emerge from it. No less and no more. The reason why there are 22 is rooted in the first axiom, into which it is forbidden to inquire, as discussed earlier. So, if I'm remembering correctly, Keter is rooted. So what he's saying is 22 is rooted in the first axiom, which is Keter, and I remember from, and maybe we all remember from opening 15, I think it is, that Keter is something that's forbidden to inquire. So it's really interesting that these letters are coming from a completely unknowable place. For these are the levels required for the intended purpose in order to give the lights the power to act, so that the lights prepared in the Sefirot can produce their requisite effects, as will be discussed further below.